Failure or not to fail? That is the question.
R is a fail.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Welcome to Twin Talks. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Nikki.
Why people are not allowed to fail in high school or in elementary school. What is up with that? How is that helpful if you can't tell the truth? If you're in swimming class, there's rubrics, right? On what you have to do to get to the next level. And if you can't tread water, then you're not going into the deep end until you can. Shouldn't we look at education the same way?
I think there are some benchmarks that have to be met. You're looking at the kid through a holistic lens. There are going to be times where people won't pick things up right away. Let's say, for example, you have a really strong student and really good with their letters, and they learn to read like this. But you can pass, but by grade 2, if you can't read, you have to fail. Or whatever.
Or grade 3 or
like grade 8. By the time of the primary years are over, you can no longer pass them along. So you can pass along to a certain amount, but if they don't get it by a certain time, then it might be better to take them out and remediate.
Yes.
Because there's going to be something going on. If you keep passing them forward, then parents don't know that they need to remediate the kid. Then they're in grade 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11, and you didn't realize that they couldn't read because they've been pushed forward.
And that's where the behavioral problems come and the anxiety, don't you think?
Yeah.
When you're feeling stuck and you're trying to get help, but you don't know where to get help, and you keep getting past, what are we teaching the kids?
Yeah. If you're a person who just didn't get it and everybody else has gotten it at some point, and you just keep getting thrown in the same grade, but now you can't read to the same level, you can't write to the same level because no one caught you way back here. Now you start creating behaviors to hide, and now you start feeling a level of shame and these entrenched behaviors now start coming out in anxiety, in shame, in anger, in other different ways. I think the slant is starting to come toward looking at everybody holistically, where some will get things very quickly in terms of reading and writing, and others excel at the verbal side, and so we have to take it all into consideration. But at the end of the day, in life, we all, as parents, teachers, whoever, we want our kids to be able to read and write and do basic things. So you have to tell them or remediate them if they're having difficulties. There's nothing wrong with that. That's where you learn.
If you can't tell the truth without the parent or the administration or someone getting on your case, then what's the point?
Well, maybe that is the question, then what is the point? If you cannot tell the truth and say, this needs a little bit of work, it might take you a few months or 6 months or a year, whatever, what's the point then? That's exactly the question. If the bar is this low, there are gonna always be kids who can't reach the bar, but you'll always get like a lot of them getting really close to the bar or surpassing it. But the ones who are not doing that well, who can't meet this bar, they'll at least try to get to the bar.
Yeah.
And that's the point, because eventually they'll get closer to the bar if you set it there. But if you set it down here, then they're gonna go like, I don't even want to get out of bed for this. Why should I bother? I got the bar, I'll step over it and I'll go back to bed.
Because they're told that they can, when really in their heart they know they can't. Maybe that's the issue. Yeah,
we have to do some research on it, but I bet you there's a lot of anxiety coming from trying to cover it. When you're in high school and everybody's saying I'm going here, there, and everywhere, and those 4 years go quick and the work gets harder and harder and harder. If you're struggling with the reading in grade 7 and now you're in grade 10, you haven't been practicing and nobody's remediated you because everyone passes. Now the work, feels way difficult. It's not like you're doing stuff that take you 5 minutes to do anymore. It takes you an hour or two to study and get things done, and now it becomes a real stressor.
And insurmountable, right? So I guess the question becomes, fail or not to fail? That's the question. We'd love to know your answer. And so if you like this, what do we do?
You like us on all social media outlets. You like that? Comment below and see you next time on Twin Talks. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Just say all social media.
That's what I said.
You don't have to list them, they know.
Okay.
That's what I